bridge in your voice, trying to find where it is, and then kind of knowing about what we can do about it as well. So for those of you who haven't heard that term before, like a few years ago now, people used to talk about a break in your voice. It's kind of like the same, describing the same thing, but I much prefer thinking about a bridge in your voice, because when you think about a break, it sounds like your voice is broken or something, and that's not the case at all. In musical theatre, they sometimes talk about head and chest voice, and I should kind of explain for this, guys. Like, I'm aware of these terms, but I don't necessarily subscribe to them too much, in that I don't so much think about head and chest voices, because similarly it gives the impression as if when you're singing you kind of move to change gears in a car. It's like you move rapidly from one to the other. I don't think singing is like that at all. You have both chest and head resonances, but those two different parts of your voice are always present, just in different amounts. If you're singing really low in your voice, you probably have more of the chest resonance, but it's important to also include some of the head resonance to have that agility to move between notes. Similarly, if you're singing high in your voice, it's important that you go into also having a bit of chest resonance, so that you don't sound like a choir boy or something like that. So for like the bridge in your voice, it's a couple of notes that maybe feel a bit, it's difficult for you to control them. They might sound quite weak as well. Usually people think that that's like the very top or the very bottom of their voices and they don't have any more. But usually, actually, they do have like an extra couple of notes past the bridge, just that they haven't felt the confidence to go any higher than that. For me, I think that my job as a singing teacher is to help people to control how to sing through their bridge, to get more familiar with it. To me, like, I feel that singing and having control of your bridge is like one of the most difficult things, but one of the most important things to do in your singing technique. Once you've got that under control, it's a lot easier to control the rest of your voice. So for instance, for female voices, I've found in my experience as a singing teacher, both altos, mezzos and sopranos, your bridge, one of your bridges, you might have two if you've got a large range. Your bridge tends to be around, it's a C, if you start with middle C, your one tends to be around the C above that, so it'd be C5. Usually what I've found with people's bridges is that they're around C, C sharp, or going down to C, B natural, B, maybe even A. It's a small cluster of notes in which the bridge seems to sit around there. So say for instance, if you're going a bit higher in your voice might sound confident in the lower notes, but when it gets to this higher bits of the bridge, you feel like you don't have any control. So your voice, for just now, might sound a bit like it gets almost a bit weak and feeble sounding. So that's where your bridge might be if you're like a female voice. If we go down the way to around middle C again, you tend to find that usually with sopranos, your voice that would be the lowest note for you. Mezzos and altos, you might be able to sing a bit lower. So your lower bridge, if you have one, will probably be quite low. It'll be around the F below middle C. So we're talking, if we widen the scope a little bit, so from G3 down to F sharp, F, E, possibly even E flat around there. That's another kind of couple of notes. You might feel like that's the very bottom of your voice, but it might not necessarily be the case. I have to speak quite generally because each voice is different. I'm just speaking from my own personal experience as a teacher. I've noticed that people's bridges tend to be in these two little clusters. So if you find that you've got like a couple of notes there that feel weak and you can't control them, that might not necessarily be the end of the story. It might be that you have to work on controlling your bridge. And so this one, guys, we're going to do a little kind of exercise just right after this one. Exercises that help you to get into the habit of controlling your bridge. And how do we control your bridge? It's by using the corsal muscle that we did for breathing. So if we've done the hard work of activating this and feeling confident that we know how to use it when we want to, it makes controlling the bridge a lot easier.